Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Sorry for the long hiatus, but I did have an episode during the filming of this video right here, and I'll get into that in a little bit. For now, sit back and get ready for these 3 new DIYs. So our first DIY is going to be a farmhouse door hanger, and it's absolutely beautiful. You're going to need these 2 long white boards from the Dollar Tree. They're in the new farmhouse section. I'm sure you've seen them. They have them in black and brown. And you're going to need... There's one item in here from Dollar General, and I believe it's called a garden stake. It's square, it's thick, it's very long, and it has a point at one end. You're going to need one of those from Dollar General. You're going to need some larger craft sticks from the Dollar Tree. And this really pretty fresh market flower sign that I found when I was there. This is the stick I was talking about. And sorry for my voice. I can't really exert it that much due to what happened to me. You're going to need some pretty florals, any florals of your choice. I thought these were really pretty, so I just picked a bunch from my stash. And I don't use them all. I only use 2 picks. I think I grabbed some lavender, and the other ones just said greenery. But they had some really pretty tiny purple flowers on them. And if you know me, you know purple is my favorite color. Now, this is a sign I was talking about. This does take a little bit of work filling it in with some color, but it's well worth it. The end result is, it's gorgeous. So now what I'm going to do is you're going to take this garden stake and you have to cut it. You can use a handsaw with a miter box, an electric saw, whatever you need, whatever you have to get the job done. And you're going to need 2 12-inch pieces. And you're going to have a little leftover piece that's a little shorter than 12 inches. I think it's 10 inches. I just threw that in my stash because I might need that for something later on. You never know. So now our garden stake is cut, and you see that smaller piece on the bottom. We don't need that. We just need the 2 12-inchers. And we'll throw that to our stash. And I'm first going to start by attaching these 2 boards together. So I'm going to cut off the hangers, and I'm going to flip the boards around, and that's where we're going to use our bigger popsicle sticks from the Dollar Tree. But I want to keep in mind that when you're putting these 2 boards together, you're going to see my one hand does not move. And that's because I'm trying to keep them as tight as possible together. Keep them as closed and not get a gap in between there. So I keep my one hand there just to make sure that there is no gap. You'll see what I'm talking about. It's hard to explain. I'm sorry. But as you can watch here what I'm doing. So as I was filming this towards the end, you're not going to see the last 2 DIYs styled. And that's because I started to get really bad pains radiating from my stomach to my back. And then I just started profusely sweating. And you'll notice in my 3rd DIY, I'm like kind of rushing through it because I wanted to get it done for you guys. And I didn't know what was going on with me. I really didn't. So I tried to go to sleep. I couldn't sleep. I kept getting sick. And the next day, the kid's father looked at me and he said, "You really need to go to the hospital, like, now." And I said, "Why?" He said, "Your eyes are, like, yellow, bright yellow." Well, of course, that scared me, and I went to the ER. I drove myself to the closest ER. And from there, they found out that my white blood cell count is supposed to be 10, and it was at like 43. So they're like, listen, you're septic and you're dying. So we need to do emergency surgery. From there, I was like, you don't expect to hear that. I didn't expect to hear that. So I was scared. I was really scared. I have a 4-year-old and a 5-year-old, and I just kept thinking about my babies. So long story short, my gallbladder was spitting, I guess, so to speak, very large gallstones into my liver's bile ducts. And my liver was essentially backing up into itself and making me septic. There was no place for the poison to go that my liver was filtering. It just kept backing up into itself because these large stones were blocking the bile ducts from the poison coming out of me. And they operated and they took out my gallbladder, but unfortunately they could not get the stones out of my liver. They were too large and they went in laparoscopically. So the incisions that they made were very small and they couldn't pull these large stones out of these small incisions. So what they did is they put a stent in my liver, and I have a G tube coming out of my liver out the side of my abdomen. I'm on restrictive bed rest. I can't really walk. I'm sure time, will heal me. But as of right now, there's not too much I can do. I'm out of work for 12 weeks. They want to go back in 4 weeks and try again. So, unfortunately for me, I have to have another surgery in a month and to see if they can extract these stones out of my liver. It was scary. It just goes to show you how precious life is and you're not promised tomorrow. But I wanted to get this video out to you guys and let you guys know what's been going on. It wasn't something as simple as I stubbed my toe. It was really life-threatening. And I wanted to let all my loyal subscribers, new and old, I wanted to let you guys know what was going on with me. I do have a lot of help here at the house with the kids. I can't even pack their lunches for school. And it's killing me internally because I'm a busy woman. I work 60 hours a week. I have my side business. I have my YouTube channel. I have my 2 babies. So it's always go, 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 go. And I just came to a complete stop. And my son had fell sick during this time with a really bad bug. And when he's sick, he's a mama's boy. He just wants to lay on me so I can rub his head and his back. And he couldn't because, I have this tube coming out of me. And it killed me. It absolutely killed me to not be able to nurture my son while he was feeling ill, But luckily for me, I have a great support group, and I'm out of work for 3 months, and it's not like I can even do my crafts because my craft room is downstairs, and I can't do stairs yet. So I'm literally stuck in one position all day, 24/7, and it's driving me bonkers. It is. And being out of work for 10 to 12 weeks, I'm going to lose my mind, I'm sure. So that's what's been going on with me. Now, we're going to take these two 12-inch steaks that we cut, and we're going to adhere them. I used hot glue. You can use wood glue or whatever you want to use. And we're going to adhere one to each side. So this is going to be a very beautiful door hanger when we are done. I am so happy I got this done and I didn't rush this one because I was feeling absolutely fine right here. For the first DIY, I was absolutely fine. Second DIY, I started to get some pains, but not really too severe. And The third one just took me out. Like, that was it. I was done. But I was determined to finish it, and I did. So, I'm kind of proud of myself. Now that they are attached each side, and you see how there's no gap there in the middle where they meet, but I wanted that line in the middle a little bit darker in between the two boards so it looked like one unit, like one big board and not two that were attached. So I believe I'm going to get out my Sharpies here. Again, I did film this almost 3 weeks ago now. So, I was in the hospital for a week. So, yeah, I filmed this a long time ago. So, forgive me if my memory doesn't serve me correctly. So, I'm going to take the hanger out of this Flower Fresh Market sign. And when I seen this in a Dollar Tree, I'm like, oh, okay, I see y'all, Dollar Tree. That is beautiful. So, right here I have black and white paint markers. Some are from Michael's, some are Craftsmart. The other ones are called Painters from Walmart. Some are fine tip, some aren't. But I'm going to do this flower in the middle green. So I break out my Sharpies, and I found every single green I could in the box. Now, I got this box of Sharpies around Black Friday from Walmart. I believe there was like 60 different colors in this box, and it was on sale for like $10. Great deal. Absolutely great deal. So I got every single green I could find out, as you can see, and I got all them greens out for that one little flower plant. Now, this is a box I was telling you about. If you guys see this, pick it up, because you have so many options inside of here. So many colors. You have fine tip. You have regular Sharpies. I mean, I love this box. Absolutely love it. You don't know how many times this box has come in handy. They have every color you can imagine in here. And I'm trying to show you, like, the bulk of them and the colors inside of them. And it was a great deal, and I'm glad I wish I got 2 or 3, to be honest. But I'm glad I got the one when I did. So now I'm going to find a green that I'm going to take from my little plant there in the middle of the sign. And I'm going to go ahead and fill that in. So I'm just like, would that look good? Would this look good? And finally I find the green I'm going to use. And I do color it in. And for the larger word, flowers, I'm going to use white. I'm also going to use white for the seeds, stems, and blooms at the bottom. Right here, I'm just taking some Dollar Tree spackle and filling in the holes where the hanger was on this sign. And this is like a little weeder from the Dollar Tree. And I'm just trying to get it. I got some spackle in the little grooves because it looks like this was wood burnt in. So I got some spackle in the edging. And I just take that little point right there and get it all out. So when I do paint it, nothing looks amiss. And I am going to do the whole sign in black. So the background on this sign is going to be black. The words on the bottom are going to be white. And the Market Fresh at top, I think I chose a pink or a purple. I'm not sure, don't quote me, but I'm pretty sure it's pink. Now I'm going to go ahead and attack this sign. I'm taking the green and I'm filling in the little plant in the middle. I'm going to go ahead and get my white paint marker out from Walmart and fill in the flowers. This is very time consuming and tedious, but it is so worth it, I promise. We're going to do them words down there at the bottom. And I did choose a pink for the Market Fresh. As you can see, the pink I'm using here. And I go ahead and I take the pink and I put little bows at the end of that plant. I fill them in pink. And I do the border going around black because I'm going to fill in the rest black. And I do fill in the insides of the letters and around the words in black Sharpie because I didn't have a brush small enough to do it with my black chalk paint. But then I do go over it and I take the bigger areas and I blend it in with the chalk paint. And you'll see here in a second. And that's chalk paint on the outside and that's Sharpie all around the letters. I take my zip sander and I give it a good distressing because we're going farmhouse. I'm just picking out my brushes here to paint my sign because we're going to go over that sign we made in Waverly's white chalk paint. Because our sides that we attach, they're natural wood color, so we got to make it all blend in. So I'm going to paint the whole sign white. And it looks really, really good when we're done. The black is for the lines. We want them lines to really pop out. So I'm going to go over the lines after I'm done painting the sign in white with the black Sharpie. I do this with all my larger chalk paints. I just poke a little hole in the top and then I squirt it into like a dish or a cup. I find that it keeps the paint fresher longer and it also saves you on wasting a lot of paint. And if you want to squirt it on your project, you can. You don't have to worry about too much coming out because you only have a little hole on the top. We're going to go ahead and we're going to get our sign up on this table. And we're going to get ready to attack it in this snow white paint. I hope you guys get a chance to make this DIY because this is hanging on my front door right now. And it looks absolutely amazing. I love the way it looks. And the mailman's always complimenting me. Like, where do you get this stuff to hang on your door? It always looks so beautiful. And I'm like, I make it. And he's like, get out of here. So we started talking because now I'm actually home when the mail comes, you know. And as you can see, I'm going through. Now, this is where the two signs meet. But I want to make it look like it's all one sign. So I want to deepen that line in the middle. Make it look like it's one piece, you know. Forgive me for my voice. I do get winded very easily. I don't know if it has something to do with the surgery or, you know, the hole in the side of me. I don't know what it is, but I get very winded very easily. So I have to kind of stop and take a breather and slow down. But like I said, I wanted to get this out to you guys ASAP. Because I love how this came out. And I wanted to let you guys know what was going on, of course. So as you can see here, I'm painting the whole sign in Waverly white chalk paint. Just so it looks all cohesive and it looks like it's one big piece. Like we didn't piece it together. Now we are going to take our flower sign, and I want to attach it, but before I can, I have to wait or dry the sign. So I'm going to get out my heat gun, and I'm going to dry this sign really quickly so we can attach this sign to our main backing. Now, of course, I want to center it at the top because I'm going to put my florals underneath. So I want to make sure I got equal amounts of room on each side. So I'm going to get out my ruler and make sure everything measures up correctly. I don't remember how many inches are on each side. You guys are going to have to figure that out if you do it because my brain is not serving me right 3 weeks later. I'm sorry. But this is easy enough. So I'm just making sure everything is lining up correctly. I want to make sure that when you look at it, it doesn't look lopsided or, you know, too far to the left or too far to the right. And as you guys can see, that night, I have Band-Aids all over my hands. That's obvious. So that night, I was building something for my main job during the day. And I promised the kids at my job that I've been gonna build this, and it's like, it's a treasure trunk. So I was gonna fill it with prizes, and if they're good, they get to pick from the treasure trunk. And this treasure trunk gave me such a problem. It's still not done. But they understand, you know. And everybody at my job has just been absolutely amazing. So shout outs to my JB family. You guys rock. And now that our side is centered, our sign is centered, I want to go ahead and put that down with some hot glue. You guys can use wood glue. You can use whatever kind of adhesion that you want. Hot glue is just a quicker bond for me. And I knew I had 2 more DIYs to go after this, and it was pretty late already. So I wound up picking these 2 picks. And I want to look, I'm just placing them under there to see how they would look under the sign. So now we're going to attach this. I know this is where I want it permanently, and this is where it's going to go. So I'm going to go ahead and attach the sign. And to be careful that I don't lose my place, I am going to flip it up. And I'm just going to put some hot glue on the back of my sign and on the back of our main board there. Like that. And it gave me a really, really strong bond. Place that down very carefully so it's not crooked or uneven. I'll press it down for a couple seconds, and she's on there, nice and sturdy. Now I'm going to play around with the florals and see how they look underneath this sign. I knew I wanted them to bend up and like come around the side of the sign. I thought that would be so pretty, just like that, and then have our ribbon in the middle. I am going to cut them stems down a little bit because I know I'm going to wind up putting both of these picks together in the middle with some floral tape. So I didn't want too much stem in the middle. I didn't want no overlapping and poking out. So I do chop there's little notches in the end of these stems, and I chop off the 2 last notches. I'm trying to chop them off anyway. These were really, really tough to get off for some reason. And that went flying. So we got one down. Now we gotta chop off the 2 notches on this pick, and we'll be good to go. I'm like, wow, I'm squeezing with all my might, and I can't get this thing off. So I just kind of take it and bend it, and it pops off. And we're going to go ahead and put them back together, and we're going to put that bend in the middle so the florals come up on either side of our sign. And I'm going to take my green floral tape from the Dollar Tree, and I am going to wrap it around the center. So you're not going to see anything in the middle but some green floral tape. And I want to make sure that, you see the greenery on either side? I want to make sure it's even on both sides. So if the greenery comes up to the middle of the S on the right, I want the greenery to come up to the middle of the F on the left. I'll say that fast 3 times. Ooh, that's a tongue twister. I do have one thing to ask to all my subscribers, new and old. If you guys can just throw me in your prayers, send some positive energy, some healing energy my way, I would appreciate it. I really would. It would mean the world to me. I can use all the positive healing vibes and prayers that I can get right now because I'm really scared going into the second surgery. I mean, your liver really isn't anything to play with. So you need your liver to live. And, you know, I'd be lying if I told you I wasn't nervous, because I am. Just for the simple fact of I do have 2 little babies at home counting on me. And, you know, not only do I need to go back to work because I'm the breadwinner, but I need to be alive for the next 30 or 40 years, you know, to see them get married and have kids. So if you guys could pray, send vibes, energy, whatever it is that you believe in, as long as it's positive, throw it my way and I will receive it with open arms. Thank you in advance, too. I know there was a couple of subscribers that didn't want to hear nothing about my personal life, and they only wanted to hear about the DIYs, but I'm letting my loyal subscribers that I care about, that I know care about me, I want to let you guys know what's going on in my life. Now, this burlap ribbon with the buffalo check, I absolutely love this ribbon. When I first found it on Amazon, I went haywire with it and put it on every project. But I thought it would be very fitting because the base of our sign is white and our flower sign is black, and it had the buffalo check, and I'm going for the farmhouse look. So, the bow that I'm making, I'm going to cut a length, and I'm going to make a loop, and I'm going to make sure that loop covers the gap where our 2 picks meet. So, I'm going to make the loop wide enough to fit in that gap in between our 2 floral picks, and I'm going to cut 2 lengths the same size. And then I'm going to cut 2 more loops, but I'm going to make them smaller. And you'll see exactly what I do here in a minute. I make 2 large loops and 2 smaller loops, and then I cinch them together with a really pretty ribbon I found on Temu. It's a burlap color, but it's like, I'm trying to think. You ever see the ribbon they put on the monogram pumpkins in the Dollar Tree during the fall? They have the white ones and the orange ones with the initials on them. And then they usually put these brown ribbons, and they look ribboned, and they're like brown in color. I actually found that ribbon on Temu and I ordered it. So when I cinch this ribbon together, I fold the other ribbon in half and I glue it around the center. You'll see here in a second what I'm talking about, but it looks really good when I'm done, I promise. Now, this is the ribbon I was telling you about. Absolutely love this ribbon for some reason. I don't know why, but when I seen it on the pumpkins in the Dollar Tree, I'm like, I gotta find it. And I was on Temu one day and I found it. And I'm like, oh yeah, uh-huh. So I'm gonna fold that ribbon in half and I'm gonna cinch these ribbons with the other ribbon. And it just looks like it goes, you know? I'm like, okay, that's too wide. That's going to take up too much of the smaller bows, the smaller loops on top. We got to fold this in half and make it skinnier. So I'm going to fold it in half, and then we're going to cinch it. And this bow takes a lot of playing around and puffing out and twisting and turning, but the end result, I can't say it enough. The end result came out. It's really pretty. I promise. So I'm just wrapping it around my fingers really tightly because I don't want to glue it down the center. And when I cinch it, I have to make sure that this ribbon is folded the right way in the center. So you see me play with it, and I want to make sure that when I pinch it together, it pops out in the middle and it don't go down and under. So I don't want the middle to sink in. I want it to pop out. See that? Just like that. I want it to pop out. And we're going to go ahead and take some hot glue and attach this ribbon at the back And then we're going to pull it as tight as possible around all these loops of ribbon and get that tight in the center. I'll put a little dot of glue here, a little dot of glue there. We'll attach it at the back, and then we'll pop that up so the buffalo check is popping up and out and not down and under. And now we really want to pull this tight. You want to make sure it's dry before you pull it really tightly, otherwise that ribbon's going to come off. So let it dry for a couple of seconds, and then go ahead and start giving it your, put some elbow grease into it and pull it really tight. And we're going to put some glue here and seal it off, pull it really tight. And then we'll just trim off the excess. And now we got a lot of playing to do. We got to play with this ribbon now. I'll go ahead and cut that tail off. And now we're going to play with these ribbons. I did pull it really, really tight, but we do have some slack, so I can move these loops around and bend them the way I want to bend them. Now, at first, I was going to leave it straight across, and I decided, let's bend them out. Let's pull one up, we'll pull one down, and we'll keep twisting them like that until I'm happy. Now, you can make whatever kind of bow you want for your center. You can use whatever kind of ribbon you want to use. You could put a button in the middle. You can do whatever your heart desires, whatever matches your decor in your home. This is simply for inspiration, but I wanted to show you, you can take 4 or 5 items from the Dollar Tree and make something. If you were to buy this at Hobby Lobby, you're spending $30, $40 easy. And I think this might have cost me 10, if that. You know, that's being generous. So you really can make high-end home decor on a budget at the Dollar Tree. And it does not look cheesy and cheap. It looks chic. It looks farmhouse and chic. I still have my sense of humor, guys. It didn't go anywhere. I'm just a little bit more calmer and laid back now. So, as you can see, I kind of made the bows look like X's. So, the bigger bows look like an X, the smaller bows look like an X, and I put it in the middle, and I'm like, yeah, why not? That works. Let me poof them up a little bit. Okay, and I'm like, it's missing something. What is it missing? I'm never happy. I always have to be super extra. You guys know how I am. And then I remembered that the Dollar Tree came out with these burlap flowers. They came out with all different kinds. And I'm like, the light bulb went off in my head. I have those burlap flowers. I bought several packs of each. So let me go ahead and get them burlap flowers out and pop one in the middle. And once I do that, this sign is complete. But guess what I forgot to do, guys? You got it. I forgot to put the hanger on before I put my florals on. So I kind of have to squish the ribbon and the florals and hurry up and throw a hanger on the back because I absolutely forgot. But it's okay. I fixed it and all is well. Here we go. I gotta turn it around and I gotta squish them pretty little florals and hurry up and give myself a hanger because I'm like, ugh, how are we gonna hang this on the door? I forgot to put the hanger on the back. So here I'm using a really thick jute from Walmart. I think this roll might have cost me $6, but the jute is really thick, it's really strong, and I needed something strong for this sign because it's got some weight to it. With the garden stake on each side, the two signs, then we have the floral sign and the florals and the ribbon, and the craft sticks on the back. It does have some weight to it. It's not a light piece. So I secure our jute with some burlap from the Dollar Tree. And I want to make it as tight as possible because when I hang it, I don't want that jute hanger to rise above the sign. I don't want anybody to see that. So I want it to look like it's just stuck on the door. There's no hanger. And here's where I'm realizing I'm putting a burlap flower in the middle. Yes, I am. The florals are coming up perfectly on each side. I mean, it really couldn't get any better. And I'm reaching for my burlap florals that are on a pegboard. At first, I get down the ladybugs, and I'm like, no. Okay, here we go. And I do decide to go with this pack. And it looks like it's got like a knot in the middle, a braided knot in the center of the flower. And I thought that was really, really pretty. So I'm going to go ahead and pop one out. And these burlap flowers only have 3 in the pack. The other ones have 4 in a pack. I'm not sure why. I'm assuming these are made better or they have extra burlap in them. But I did go with these. And I do put this in the center. And then you'll see me play around with a ladybug. I was going to put one on the ribbon or put one on the inside of the flower. And then I decided against it. But you guys can totally do what you want. This is your project. If you want to put a ladybug or a bumblebee or, you know, a pearl in the middle, whatever. It's your project. You make it to your liking. And this just, it did it for me. I'm like, oh my goodness, this is awesome. Like, this project came out way better than I expected. And my BFF wants this. She, like, threatens to take it off my door every time she leaves my house. So, when I do get better, I'm gonna make her one, you know, that matches her house. So, she's more rustic, so I'll probably get the brown signs for her and do different colors. But, yeah, I'm definitely gonna make her one. So, you see here, I got my ladybugs out, and I was just playing around with them. And I totally decided against the ladybug. It didn't match. It didn't go. Now we're going to get into DIY number 2. And this is really easy. This was so simple. So, I took these apart. These were lights. and they're in the home decor section with the picture frames. They had lights in them, as you can see, and I totally disassembled them. I had the pig, the chicken, and the cow. And what I liked about these is the words were cut out of the animal. So I took them apart, and I was fighting with the idea of maybe using the back with the hole in it and covering them with like scrapbook paper. And I'm like, nah. I like the words that are cut out in the middle. And we're going to use this wood hanger. It's got 3 plaques on it, or 3 boards, with the shiplap going through, the grooves going through. And this is so easy. I think it took me about 10 minutes. I wanted to do something more, but like I said, this is where I started to get a little bit of pains in my stomach, so I was kind of like rushing through it. What I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to paint over these in Waverly's ink chalk paint. And I'm going to paint them all black. And we are going to adhere them to this sign. But before we do that, after we paint them black, I actually take my white paint marker and I go over the words to kind of like highlight them and make them pop out. Even though they're going to be on a white sign, they're going to pop out anyway. Just wanted that extra, that extra, So I do take my white paint marker and go over the cutout words in the animal. But we're going to go ahead and we're going to lay some wax paper down, and we're going to go ahead and paint our cow, chicken, and pig in Waverly's ink chalk paint. I knew I was going to get messy, so I go ahead and I put on my rubber gloves and I lay down some wax paper. I suggest you do the same. It saves a lot of time and a lot of mess. Now, I don't know if you guys can see to the right of my blue silicone mat, all my brushes, they're in like this little pink caddy. I found them in the teacher section at the Dollar Tree, and they actually go up on an angle. And that thing fits all my new brushes. It fits my chippy brushes in the back. It fits my regular brushes. It's got like 4 spots. And I absolutely love this little caddy. So if you guys see it, pick one up. They come in different colors. But pick one up because it's great for brushes and glue sticks. And it keeps everything all neat and organized. Ah, so much better. That looks so much better. I wanted to actually put shiplap lines in the animals with a white. But like I said, I started to feel ill. But if you guys, want to do that, you don't have to paint them black. You don't have to paint them at all. You don't even have to use these. You can use something totally different. It's just an idea. And right now, I'm in the middle of switching my whole kitchen over to farmhouse. So my theme was coffee. So I had like espresso, and I had coffee cups on my curtains, and I had the coffee cup tea towels, and my whole kitchen was dedicated to coffee. So I'm switching over from coffee to farmhouse. And this is going to look great on my kitchen wall. Again, you don't get to see me style it because I did feel ill. But I'm sure you guys can imagine how it looks hanging on the wall. Now, here's where I take my white paint marker, and I'm going to go ahead and accentuate the words that are cut out in each animal. And we're just going to go ahead and we're going to line our animals up front and center in each plaque or board. And I'm just going to take some hot glue and glue them down. And this DIY is pretty much done. Fast, easy, simple, and something to hang on your wall. And it doesn't look cheap or cheesy. I love this. I think it's super cute. And super quick. And just like that, she is done. That easy. All our animals are applied, they're glued, they're painted. The words are popping out a little bit with the white paint marker that I went around the edges with. And she's ready to be hung on the wall. I think this might have took me a total of 10-15 minutes at tops. And that's quick for a DIY. That first DIY took me a good 2 hours. This one, 10-15 minutes, and she's done. I couldn't be happier. I mean, you can add some embellishments. You can do whatever you want to this, really. I left it as is. We're going to get into DIY number 3, and you will see I rushed through this because now the pains are really they were getting bad. But I wanted to show you something you can do with these little house shapes. So they have love, they have gather, they have home. I chose love, and I didn't get to finish it. So I'm going to tell you here at the end what I wanted to do. So I got this little 12-inch board from the Dollar Tree in the Crafter Square section. I had 4 angels from Christmas. I just plucked the rings off. We're going to use those as the legs to our little board right there. We're going to make it a stand. That's obvious, right? And I'm going to go ahead and put a new set of gloves on. We're going to pop these little house-shaped love letters out. And we're going to go ahead and put our wax paper down. And you're going to need Waverly chalk paint in the color Snow White and the colors ink. This is going to be a black and white project. I'm sticking with the theme in my home, which is black and white modern farmhouse. You can do whatever colors you want. You don't even have to use love. You can use another word. This is just to show you something you can do with these. You can actually even put these together in a square and make like a planter box out of them. You can make a candle holder out of them. There's so many things that you can do with these house-shaped letters. I mean, possibilities are endless. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to paint our board and our little angels in Waverly's white chalk paint. Now that's done, I'm going to take these little angels and paint the bottoms and make sure I didn't miss any spots. So I'm going to go over them again. And now we're going to take Waverly chalk paint in the color ink, and we're going to paint these little house shapes, all black. Now they're done. I'm going to go ahead and glue our feet on the bottom of this board and make a little riser. And I'm going to dry brush over our little riser in black. And then I'm going to dry brush our little house shapes in white. So it's kind of like a contrast, you know. And I'm going to glue these down with super glue gel, because the bond is strong, it holds, and it's quick. Now, it's going to make a liar out of me, because at the end, I do remember I go to show you what it looks like, and I believe the E fell down. And I just had to hold it there a little bit longer for the bond to kick in. But it's still holding strong. And this is another quick DIY. Another 10-minute DIY. There she went. Down she goes. Now, what I wanted to do with that one, look at how pretty that is on my door. Oh, so the last DIY, I want to put little tea light candles behind each letter, and that would look so pretty at night. Guys, please like, comment, share, subscribe. Everything you need to know is going to be in the description box below. All the materials I use, all my social media links. I love you all. And don't forget, you're strong, smart, intelligent, and you're the real MVP. Until the next one.